Apparently, Zoran Mamdani believes he's running to become the next president of the United States. He doesn't want to debate the other New York City mayoral candidates. No, he can't be bothered with that at all. Instead, he wants to debate President Trump. Who does this guy think he is?
Let's cut out the middleman. Why should I debate Donald Trump's puppet when I could debate Donald Trump himself? If Donald Trump is serious about this, he should come to New York City. We can have as many debates as he wants about why he is cutting SNAP benefits for hungry New Yorkers just to fund tax cuts for his billionaire donors.
I would watch that.
It would make for great TV.
I mean, I would watch it too, but why would President Trump agree to that? And why won't Mamdani debate any of the other mayoral candidates? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, the bad news in all of this is that Mamdani's stock continues to go up in New York City. According to Real Clear Politics, Mamdani is the runaway candidate in the race so far, with 38.2% of the polling average. Cuomo is a distant second, 15 points behind, and Eric Adams dead last at 10.6%. The Republican candidate, who realistically does not have a shot in New York City, at least right now, at 16.6%. Now, unfortunately, things are going to get worse for us, better for Mamdani, after the latest economic jobs numbers. According to the Epoch Times, the U.S. economy adds just 22,000 new jobs in August. This is well below what the estimations and the expectations had been. Unfortunately, the tougher the job numbers, the tougher the economy, and that makes the siren song of socialism all the more attractive for people who maybe don't follow politics and policy that closely, or people who only think with their emotions rather than rationally thinking through how these policies will affect them, not just in the short term, but in the long term. Because socialist and communist and Marxist policies will undermine the very foundations of the United States. They will destroy what not only made America great, but allows people to dream the American dream and, more importantly, actually accomplish it. Now, unfortunately, whenever the economy is in dire straits, that gives rise to scammers who just are out to ruin the lives of good people. Just recently, this actually happens in healthcare a lot. The DOJ just filed a claim against 3 of the largest Medicare brokers in the country. According to the DOJ, these brokers basically were focused on their own kickbacks, focused on their own commissions, instead of helping seniors find the best plans for them. And that is why I am proud to recommend Chapter. Chapter was founded because their own parents were scammed, and they wanted to help provide a solution to this broken system. Medicare is very complicated, and the system can be a nightmare to get through, and that's why you want to have good people on your side. And they are the only national advisors who search every single Medicare plan to find the right one for you. They advocate for you and not the insurance company. There's no steering, no pressure, just honest, ethical help at no cost to you. This DOJ case proves just how broken the system is, and Chapter is working to fix it. So if you're interested, you can call the number on your screen, 321-358-2297, to speak with a real person. The average person who works with Chapter has saved over $1,000 a year. And hey, if you're already on the best plan, then you will have peace of mind. So this is a free resource for my audience. Again, call 321-358-2297. Now, you would think that as Mamdani embraces these socialist policies, that the Democrat Party would run away from him, right? Early on, as Mamdani was rising, a lot of national Democrats really took a step back, either disavowed him or were waiting to see which way the wind blew. There were a few exceptions, right? Elizabeth Warren embraced Mamdani right off the bat. Well, Blasio, you would think, would be against Mamdani, but no, he is promoting all of these welfare services. Well, he was actually pushed back on, believe it or not, on MS Now's Morning Joe, and he could not answer this simple question.
Free buses.
And who runs that?
The city of New York runs it, just like we run so many other services. And the bottom line here is to think about the free buses again. Free buses has been proven to work in many parts of the country.
Where?
I'll get you a list of cities, but the bottom line is it is something that allows people to, one, reduce their costs, which people are overwhelmed by,
right,
to get into mass transit more. It works because we know that if people are given a quality alternative they can afford, they'll use it.
Whenever someone says, I'll get back to you later, or I'll give you a list, it's because there either isn't an answer or they're so ill prepared, they have no idea what they're talking about that they literally have to follow up later. Of course, we all know that when it comes to city-run things, they eventually go belly up sooner or later. And of course, Mika Brzezinski there wasn't having it. If you rewatch that clip, as de Blasio said, "Oh, I'll get you a list later," you could hear Mika Brzezinski softly mumble under her breath, just like, "Oh, yeah, right. We're never going to see that." You could tell even she, and she is so hardcore in the Democrat camp, even she was against that. Well, a few months ago, I actually covered the Kansas City run grocery store. And this was being touted as a model of how cities and different municipalities across the country could run their own grocery store. Now, at the time, when I reported on it, their shelves were empty, despite the fact that the city has spent millions of dollars. I believe off the top of my head, they had poured something like $15 million into it and counting, yet the shelves were empty, food was going rotten, there were thieves and burglaries. Well, now that city-run grocery store has gone out of business.
For months, the store hasn't fully been stocked. Still, person after person comes to buy groceries.
I thank the previous operator for the years they put into that, as well as their predecessor. And now we'll try to do all we can to make sure that this works.
Mayor Quinton Lucas is disappointed. He met with the store operator 2 weeks ago for hours trying to come up with a solution.
Yeah, I know there are different challenges to how a grocery store can operate. Part of that challenge is that the city certainly has been happy to be a partner, but there's always a limit to what we will invest as well.
It comes down to money. The city owns the building and has invested nearly $29 million in the store. Still, the Sunfresh was losing money.
All of a sudden, you roll down here this morning and they're gone, and they're saying they're not coming back.
All neighbors know is there's no food here now, and they wish that wasn't the case.
I'd like to know what could be done, maybe to bring it back.
In Kansas City, Brian Johnson, KMBC 9 News.
Yeah, the initial investment was around $15 to $18 million, and obviously, as you heard there, they just put so much into it, and despite all of those resources, it closed, and now people who actually need help aren't getting the help that they need. Of course, there are other solutions like food banks and nonprofits and food stamps, but this right here just proves that Mamdani and socialists and anyone who just wants to undermine capitalism can talk a big game, but whenever it's been implemented, whether it's those free bus rides that de Blasio can't name a single city where they've worked, or these city-run grocery stores, they just go belly up, because the reality is that the free market will sort itself out. That doesn't mean that there aren't going to be struggles. That doesn't mean that people and businesses aren't going to go out of business. But what it does mean is that those who deserve to survive, those that have merit, the businesses that can stand on their own 2 feet, they will rise and the market will decide. That ultimately gives consumers like you and I more options. It gives us the ability to spend our dollars, quite frankly, wherever we want to. And it also gives people and business owners and entrepreneurs a reason to innovate and create the best solutions for all of us. That is what propels the American dream and has made us so great. Well, despite the closure of the Kansas City grocery store, Mamdani has not learned his lesson. He still wants city-run grocery stores, city-run housing, and then now he wants city-run daycare. You just can't make this stuff up.
A lot of what our campaign is portrayed as is if there is no precedent for it. Think about democratic socialism. I am a democratic socialist. I also wouldn't be the first democratic socialist mayor. We've had a number, and we've even had a mayor who was a member of the Democratic Socialists of America. That's David Dinkins, not just a few decades ago. And people ask me, how can this interact with New York City being the home of global finance? And I say my focus as a Democratic Socialist is ensuring that every New Yorker lives a dignified life. That is my responsibility, to ensure that what you need, what is necessary for you, is something that you're not priced out of. Not what you want, not what you'd like, but we all understand people need K through 12 education. So we have public schools. But for some reason, we think that childcare is something that you could be priced out of before you get to K through 12. That it's okay that New Yorkers have to spend $25,000 a year procuring childcare. I believe that the city should provide universal childcare. And this is something that I've sought to share with people about what our vision is, and the fact that if they have questions, if they have concerns, I'm here to answer them, because what oftentimes people are worried about is what Andrew Cuomo is telling them, which bears no relation to what we're actually talking about or fighting for.
The problem is that Democrats always promise free, free, free. And they really play on the emotional strings. Life is hard right now. The economy is hard. And that's why the city needs to provide all of these services for free. But what the Democrats never tell you, what these so-called Democratic socialists, let's call them what they are, they're just socialists, what they never tell you is why life is so hard to begin with. And it's because of the very policies that they push and implement that makes life harder for all of us. First of all, they raise taxes, and that obviously just makes life at a baseline level more expensive. When they raise the corporate tax rate, it pushes the job makers out of the city. Why would, I mean, remember when Amazon wanted to open a side, like a hub in New York City, and AOC actually fought against it? That would have not only brought millions of dollars into the local New York City economy, but it would have employed thousands, if not tens of thousands of people in the city. I mean, we can just go down the list of all the ways that Democrats have made life economically more difficult, not just for Americans, but for businesses as well. And it's not just the tax rate. You can talk about the regulations. You can talk about zoning. You can talk about competitive practices. The list just goes on and on and on. They've basically created this problem, and now they want to sell voters on this idea that they're going to somehow fix the problem. Someone just make it make sense. Now, this is not all bad news. There is actually a plan happening behind the scenes to defeat Mamdani, and it actually includes President Trump potentially teaming up with the Democrats. But before I get to that, I would like to acknowledge Coyote Gray Sr. Again, good luck on your book. Dennis Nevin, Helga Shabalaba Ding Dong, always great to see you. Jenda Manuro, you as well as the members of today's Governor's Club. These are people who give tips and super thanks to the channel. I am so glad that you enjoy. Well, obviously, right now, Mamdani is in the lead. The problem is, Mamdani doesn't even have 50% of the vote, right? He's not even breaking 40% right now. And so what happens, what needs to happen is people need to drop out of the race so they can consolidate against just one person to take Mamdani head on. Well, according to the New York Post, top Trump advisor floats Eric Adams for Saudi Arabia ambassadorship to thin out busy New York City mayoral field, give Cuomo a shot to beat Mamdani. Now, this top Trump advisor apparently is Steve Witkoff. And this also, by the way, has been confirmed by the Associated Press. New York City Mayor Eric Adams says he's willing to hear about other jobs, this obviously referring to other job positions and openings within the Trump administration. Also, another person who reported on this was Mark Halperin, and he is always very, very good when it comes to being on the leading edge of these stories. Well, it's not just Eric Adams. President Trump himself has actually weighed in, and he wants two people to drop out of the race.
Are you urging or encouraging any candidates in the New York City mayor's race to drop out to clear the field?
No, I don't like to see a communist become mayor, I will tell you that. And I don't think you can win unless you have one-on-one, because somehow he's gotten a little bit of a lead. I have no idea how that happened, but I'd prefer not to have a communist mayor of New York City. And, that's what he is based on his policy, if you look at his statements in the past. So I would like to see two people drop out and have it be one-on-one. And I think that's a race that could be won. Yeah.
I 100% agree with President Trump. I think someone or multiple people need to drop out, and gives right now, I think realistically the best person, just based on the polling numbers, would be, believe it or not, Cuomo. As always, though, all of that is just my analysis and commentary. That is what's going on in the world of politics from my point of view, and I would love to hear from you. So right now, only rumors. Yes, we have a name attached, Steve Witkoff, but nothing official from President Trump himself. But if this is true, would you support President Trump giving Eric Adams a role in his administration? As the New York Post is reporting, right now it seems to be being the ambassador to Saudi Arabia. Would you approve of that or of anything else? Or is this something that just sets off red flags and alarm bells? Let me know what you think about that down below. For me, I don't think that if it was an ambassadorship, I'm not exactly sure what experience Eric Adams has, but I do like the idea of bipartisanship. And I like the idea of President Trump sending a message to everyone saying, hey, I can work with Democrats and we can all work together to accomplish things for the betterment of the nation. So I like it in theory and in principle, but I just would want to see and learn more about what this potential job in the administration could be. If you haven't already, please be sure to leave me a thumbs up. I know it's a simple thing to ask for, but it really does help me reach more viewers like you in the algorithm. Be sure to smash that subscribe button and to check out one of these videos.